Hey there. Tonight we're doing something a little different, a little medieval. We're stepping into the life of an executioner's apprentice in Bohemia, sometime in the 1500s, if you're keeping track, which you probably aren't because you're trying to fall asleep. This is not a story about knights or castles or anything that makes it into the fantasy novels. This is not about heroism or adventure, or the kind of medieval life that looks good in paintings. This is about learning a trade that everyone needs and nobody wants to acknowledge. This is about the sound of a sword being sharpened at dawn, about the weight of rope in your hands, about walking through a town where people literally cross the street to avoid you. That person is you. If you're enjoying these little excursions into historical jobs that made you a social pariah, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more of this particular brand of necessary work that destroys your place in society. And if you have thoughts about medieval execution practices, or the specific loneliness of being essential and despised, drop a comment. I read them. Sometimes I wonder why anyone would want to think about this before bed. But I read them. Now, dim the lights. Get comfortable. Maybe close your eyes and imagine cobblestones under your feet and the smell of a town that doesn't have proper sanitation and the knowledge that tomorrow you'll practice killing someone even though today you're just learning to hold the sword correctly. Let's begin. The job sounds absurd when you say it out loud. Executioner's apprentice. The person learning to kill people on behalf of the state. The person training to end lives in the most public, ritualized way possible. It sounds medieval, which it is. It sounds brutal, which it definitely is. It sounds like something from a different world, a different time, a different moral universe. It's your life now. And here's the thing, nobody tells you about becoming an executioner's apprentice. It's not the killing that destroys you first. It's everything else. It's the way people look at you, or don't look at you. It's the regulations that say your children can't attend school with other children. It's the church that won't let you be buried in consecrated ground. It's the fact that you're necessary, absolutely essential to the functioning of justice and social order, and simultaneously treated like you're contaminated. You are learning a craft. You are also learning that the craft makes you untouchable. The master executioner who's training you is a man named something you'll forget, because names don't matter much in this work. What matters is that he's been doing this for 30 years, maybe longer. He's got the kind of face that's seen things and stopped reacting to them. He's not cruel. He's not kind. He's just competent, methodical. He treats execution the way a carpenter treats woodworking, as a technical skill that requires precision and practice. He's teaching you that skill. He's also teaching you, without saying it directly, that this skill will separate you from normal human society for the rest of your life. You arrived at his quarters 3 days ago. The quarters are on the edge of town. Not in town. On the edge. That's not an accident. Executioners aren't allowed to live among regular citizens in most places. There are actual laws about this. Regulations. You have to live apart. You have to be visible enough that people know where you are, but separate enough that they don't have to think about you. The quarters are a stone building. 2 rooms. 1 for living, 1 for working. There's a yard behind it where the master keeps his tools and practices his craft. The building smells like metal and oil, and something else you can't quite identify. Maybe it's just the smell of work that involves death. Maybe it's your imagination. Either way, it's there. You're sleeping in the corner of the living room, on a mat on the floor. The master has the bed. That's fine. You're the apprentice. You're learning. You're also learning that apprenticeship in this trade doesn't come with comfort or dignity or any of the things that other apprenticeships might include. You're here because you had no other options, or because your family needed the money, or because someone decided this was your fate and you didn't have the power to argue. The reasons don't matter much now. What matters is that you're here, and the master is going to teach you. And in a week, maybe less, you're going to assist in your first execution. And after that, you'll be marked, permanently, visibly, as the person who does this work. Welcome to the trade. Day 1 starts before dawn. You wake up because the master is already moving. He doesn't wake you. He just starts his day, and the sound of him moving around the room pulls you out of sleep. It's cold. The kind of cold that medieval buildings specialize in: stone walls, no insulation, a fire that died overnight. You can see your breath in the dim light. The master is at the table. He's doing something with his hands. You can't see what. You sit up. Your back hurts from sleeping on the floor. Your neck is stiff. You're wearing the same clothes you wore yesterday because you only have 2 sets of clothes, and one of them is filthy from traveling here. The master glances at you. Doesn't say anything, just glances. Then returns to what he's doing. You stand up, walk over, look at the table. He's sharpening a sword. Not a fighting sword. An execution sword. You can tell the difference immediately. It's longer, heavier. The blade is wider. The balance is different, weighted toward the tip. This is a tool designed for one specific purpose: to cut through a human neck in a single stroke. The master is running a whetstone along the edge. Slow, methodical. The sound is rhythmic, metal on stone. A whisper of friction. He's done this thousands of times. You can tell by the way his hands move. No hesitation. No checking his work. Just the steady, practiced motion of someone maintaining a tool. You watch. He doesn't explain. Doesn't tell you what he's doing or why. He just does it. After maybe 10 minutes, he stops. Examines the blade. Runs his thumb along the edge. Not touching it, just hovering close enough to feel the sharpness. Satisfied, he sets the sword down. Then he looks at you. Still doesn't speak. Just gestures to the sword. The meaning is clear. Your turn. You pick it up. It's heavier than you expected. Much heavier. The weight is wrong. Unbalanced. You're holding it like you'd hold a normal sword grip near the guard, blade pointing forward. The master reaches over, adjusts your grip, moves your hands further apart, changes the angle. Now the weight makes more sense. Now you can feel how it's designed to swing. He hands you the whetstone. You start sharpening, or trying to. The angle is wrong. The pressure is wrong. The rhythm is wrong. The master watches for maybe 30 seconds. Then he takes the sword back, shows you again. Slower this time. The angle of the stone against the blade, the amount of pressure, the length of the stroke, the way you check your work. You try again. Better. Not good. But better. The master nods slightly. Not approval. Just acknowledgement that you're learning. He takes the sword back, finishes the job properly, sets it aside. Then he shows you the other tools. There are more swords. 3 of them. Different sizes. Different weights. All designed for the same purpose, but suited to different situations. Different body types. Different levels of difficulty. The master explains this without explaining it. He just shows you the swords, lets you hold them, lets you feel the differences. Then there are the ropes, coiled neatly on a shelf, different thicknesses, different lengths. The master takes one down, shows you how it's made, the weave, the strength, the way it holds a knot. He ties a noose, not quickly, slowly, deliberately, showing you each step, the loop, the wraps, the way it tightens, the way it's designed to tighten. You watch. Your stomach is doing something uncomfortable. You haven't eaten yet. That might be part of it. But mostly it's the realization that these aren't abstract tools. These are instruments designed to end human life. And you're learning to use them. And in a few days, you'll use them on an actual person. The master unties the noose, hands you the rope. You try to replicate what he did. Your fingers are clumsy. The rope doesn't cooperate. The loop is wrong. The wraps are loose. The master takes it back, shows you again. You try again. Worse this time. He shows you a third time. You're starting to understand something. This isn't about talent. This isn't about natural ability. This is about repetition, about practice, about doing the same motion over and over until your hands remember it without your brain having to think. The master isn't teaching you to be good at this. He's teaching you to be consistent, reliable, precise. Because precision matters. In this work, precision is the difference between a quick death and a prolonged horror, between a single stroke and multiple attempts, between a job done properly and a spectacle that traumatizes everyone watching. The master knows this. He's lived it. He's probably failed before. Probably had executions go wrong. Probably had to deal with the aftermath. He's teaching you so you don't have to learn those lessons the hard way. The morning continues. He shows you how to maintain the tools, how to oil the blades so they don't rust, how to check the ropes for wear, how to store everything properly, how to keep the workspace organized. It's mundane, domestic almost, like learning to keep house. Except the house is full of instruments of death. You're doing chores, cleaning, organizing, maintaining. The master works alongside you, not supervising, just working. He treats you like a junior partner, like someone learning a trade, which you are. The trade just happens to be execution. Around midday, he stops, goes to the other room, returns with bread and cheese, hands you a portion. You eat. He eats. Neither of you speaks. The silence isn't uncomfortable. It's just silence. The kind that happens when two people are working together and don't need to fill the space with words. After eating, he takes you outside. The yard behind the quarters is larger than you expected. Maybe 30 feet by 40 feet. Packed dirt. A few wooden posts driven into the ground. Straw bundles tied to some of the posts. This is where he practices, where he maintains his skills, where he's going to teach you. He retrieves one of the swords, the middleweight one, hands it to you, points to a straw bundle. The instruction is clear. You're going to swing at it. You position yourself. The master adjusts your stance. Wider, more stable. He adjusts your grip. Tighter, more controlled. He adjusts the angle of the blade. Higher, ready to swing down. Then he steps back. You swing. The sword is heavy. The arc is wrong. The blade hits the straw bundle at an angle and bounces off. Doesn't cut. Doesn't even really impact. Just glances off like you hit it with a stick. The master doesn't react. Just gestures for you to try again. You reset. Swing again. Better this time. The blade actually cuts into the straw. Not deep. Not clean. But it cuts. The master nods slightly. You try again. And again. And again. Your arms start to hurt. The sword is heavy and you're swinging it over and over. Your shoulders burn. Your forearms ache. Your hands are starting to blister where they grip the handle. The master doesn't tell you to stop. He just watches. Occasionally adjusts your form. Occasionally demonstrates the proper technique. Then steps back and lets you continue. You swing maybe 50 times. Maybe more. You lose count. The straw bundle is shredded now. Pieces of it scattered on the ground. Your arms are shaking. Your breath is coming hard. The master finally gestures for you to stop. He takes the sword, shows you what you're doing wrong. The angle, the follow-through, the way you're tensing up at the moment of impact. He demonstrates. His swing is smooth, controlled. The blade cuts through the straw cleanly, effortlessly, like it's nothing. He hands the sword back. You try again. It's not effortless. It's not clean. But it's better. Slightly better. The master nods. That's enough for today. You return to the quarters. Your arms are useless. Your hands are blistered. Your shoulders feel like they're on fire. The master shows you where to put the sword, how to clean it, how to oil it. You do these things mechanically. Your brain is somewhere else, thinking about the straw bundle, about how it's not a person, about how a person would be different, heavier, more resistant, more real. The master doesn't address this. He just continues with the routine. Preparing the evening meal, maintaining the tools. Existing in this space where death is a job, and jobs require maintenance. You eat. You're exhausted. Your body hurts in ways you didn't know were possible. Your hands are raw. Your mind is full of images of swords and ropes and straw bundles that represent something you're not ready to think about. The master goes to bed. You lie down on your mat. The floor is hard. The room is cold. You can hear the master breathing in the other corner. Steady. Calm. The breathing of someone who sleeps well despite what he does for a living. You don't sleep well. You lie there thinking about the sword, about the weight of it, about the way it felt to swing it, about the fact that in a few days you'll swing it at something that isn't straw, something that has a family, a history, a life that's about to end. You're learning a trade. The trade is death. And day one is over. Day two starts the same way. Before dawn. Cold. The master already moving. You wake up stiff and sore. Your arms hurt. Your hands hurt. Everything hurts. You sit up. The master is at the table again, doing something with rope this time. You stand. Walk over. He's practicing knots. Not the noose. Other knots. Binding knots. The kind used to secure someone's hands. Their feet. To keep them still during the process. He ties them quickly. Efficiently. Then unties them. Ties them again. He sees you watching. Hands you a length of rope. Shows you the knot. You try to replicate it. Your fingers are clumsy. The blisters from yesterday make it worse. The rope doesn't cooperate. The master takes it back. Shows you again. Slower. You try again. This becomes the morning. Tying knots. Untying them. tying them again. Your fingers start to remember the patterns, the loops, the way the rope feeds through itself. It's meditative in a horrible way. You're learning to bind human beings, to restrain them, to prepare them for death. The master doesn't frame it that way. He just teaches you the knots, shows you which ones hold best, which ones are quickest, which ones are most secure. It's technical, practical, completely divorced from the reality of what these knots will be used for. After maybe 2 hours, he stops. Breakfast. Bread again. Some kind of porridge. You eat. Your hands are shaking slightly. Not from fear. From the repetitive motion. From the strain. The master eats calmly. Methodically. Like this is just another day. For him, it is. After breakfast, back to the yard. Today it's rope work. The master has set up a wooden beam between 2 posts, about 7 feet off the ground. He shows you how to throw the rope over it, how to secure it, how to tie the noose properly, how to adjust the length. Then he shows you the physics. This is where it gets technical. The drop matters. The length of the rope matters. The weight of the person matters. Too short a drop, and they strangle slowly. Too long, and the rope might decapitate them. The goal is a drop that breaks the neck cleanly, quickly, as close to instant as possible. The master explains this without emotion. He's done the calculations. He knows the measurements. He shows you how to estimate someone's weight by looking at them, how to adjust the rope length accordingly, how to account for variables. It's mathematics, physics, applied to the problem of killing someone as humanely as possible within the constraints of public execution. You practice with weights, sacks of grain tied to the rope, different weights, different drop lengths. You pull the rope, release the weight, watch it fall, measure the result. The master corrects you, shows you what happens when the length is wrong. Too much slack, not enough. The weight hits the ground wrong, or swings wrong, or the rope doesn't tighten properly. You do this dozens of times. Your hands are bleeding now. The rope is rough. The blisters from yesterday have opened. The master notices, doesn't comment, just continues the lesson. You'll develop calluses eventually. Your hands will toughen. This is part of the apprenticeship, the physical transformation, the way your body adapts to the work. Around midday, someone arrives. You hear them before you see them. Footsteps on the path leading to the quarters. The master stops what he's doing, looks toward the sound. His expression doesn't change, but something in his posture shifts. Becomes more formal, more official. A man appears. Well-dressed, clean. He's carrying a document. He approaches the master. They exchange words you can't hear. The master takes the document, reads it, nods. The well-dressed man leaves without acknowledging you. The master returns to the yard. He's holding the document. He doesn't show it to you, doesn't explain, just sets it aside and returns to the lesson. But something has changed. The practice feels different now, more urgent, more real. You understand without being told. That document was a death warrant, an execution order. Someone has been sentenced. Someone is waiting. And soon, maybe in a few days, maybe sooner, you'll be part of ending their life. The practice continues. But now every motion feels weighted. Every adjustment to the rope. Every calculation of drop length. Every knot. It's not abstract anymore. It's not theoretical. There's a person. Somewhere. waiting, and you're preparing to kill them. The master doesn't acknowledge this shift. He just continues teaching. Shows you how to test the rope, how to check for weak points, how to ensure everything is secure. His movements are calm, practiced. This is routine for him. He's done this hundreds of times, maybe thousands. One more execution is just one more execution. For you, it's the first. The afternoon stretches on. More practice, more rope work, more calculations. Your hands are numb now. The pain has moved past acute into something duller, more persistent. The master finally calls a stop. You return to the quarters, clean the tools, store them properly. The routine is becoming familiar. Muscle memory developing. Evening meal. Bread. Cheese. Some kind of stew. You eat without tasting it. Your mind is elsewhere. Thinking about the document. About the person it represents. About the fact that you're going to meet them soon. Not as a person. As a job. As a task to be completed. The master eats calmly. When he's finished, he does something unexpected. He retrieves the document, reads it aloud. Not the whole thing, just the relevant parts. The crime, the sentence, the date of execution, 3 days from now. The crime was murder. The condemned is a man, mid-30s, no other details, just the facts. The master folds the document, sets it aside, looks at you, still doesn't speak, just looks. The message is clear. 3 days. That's how long you have. 3 days to prepare, to practice, to become ready for something you'll never actually be ready for. You lie down on your mat that night. Sleep doesn't come easily. You're thinking about the man, the condemned. You don't know his name, don't know what he looks like, don't know anything about him except that he killed someone and now he's going to die and you're going to help make that happen. Your hands throb. The blisters. The rope burns. The physical pain is almost welcome. It's concrete. Real. Something you can focus on instead of the abstract horror of what's coming. The master sleeps soundly. You can hear his breathing. Steady. Undisturbed. He's done this so many times it doesn't affect him anymore. Or maybe it does, and he's just learned to live with it. Either way, he sleeps. You don't. You lie there in the dark, thinking about swords and ropes and drop lengths and the weight of a human body and the sound a neck makes when it breaks, and 1,000 other things you wish you didn't have to think about. Day 2 is over. 3 days left. Day 3 starts with a different kind of lesson. The master wakes you earlier than usual. Still dark outside. He's already dressed. Already moving with purpose. He gestures for you to get up. Get dressed. You do. Your body protests. Everything is sore. Your hands are stiff. The blisters have scabbed over, but they crack when you flex your fingers. The master hands you a sack. Burlap. Empty. He picks up a similar sack. A shovel. A hook on a long pole. Then he heads for the door. You follow. No explanation. Just following. You walk through the town. It's early enough that the streets are mostly empty. A few people are up. Bakers. Workers heading to early shifts. They see you. See the master. See the tools he's carrying. They look away. Quickly. Deliberately. Like looking at you might contaminate them. The master doesn't react, he just walks. You follow. You're starting to understand something about this work. It's not just the executions. It's everything else. All the jobs that nobody wants. all the tasks that involve death or filth, or things that make people uncomfortable. Those jobs fall to the executioner. Because if you're already contaminated by death, what's a little more contamination? You reach the edge of town. There's a dead dog in the street. Been there a few days, probably. Bloated. Rotting. The smell hits you from 10 feet away. The master stops. Points to it. The message is clear. This is your job now. You approach the dog. The smell gets worse. Much worse. You pull the sack over your hand like a glove. Reach down. Grab the dog's leg. The flesh is soft. Wrong. It moves in ways that solid things shouldn't move. You gag. Swallow it down. Lift the dog. It's heavier than you expected. Dead weight. Literal dead weight. You get it into the sack. Barely. The dog doesn't fit well. Parts of it stick out. You tie the sack closed as best you can. The smell is on your hands now. On your clothes. In your nose. The master nods. Picks up his shovel. Starts walking again. You follow. Carrying a dead dog in a sack. Through the streets of a medieval town. People see you. They cross to the other side of the street. They pull their children closer. They look at you like you're carrying plague. Maybe you are. Maybe that's what you are now. Plague. Contamination. The person who touches dead things. You reach a pit outside town. It's where they dump things. Dead animals. Waste. Things that can't go anywhere else. The master points to it. You throw the dog in. It lands with a wet sound. The master starts walking back toward town. This isn't over. You spend the next 3 hours doing similar work. A dead cat. A rat that died in someone's well. A pigeon that fell from a roof and nobody wanted to touch. Each time, the same routine. Retrieve the dead thing. Carry it through town. Throw it in the pit. Each time, people see you. Each time, they recoil. You're learning another lesson. This is what the job is. Not just the executions. Not just the dramatic public moments. But all of this. The dead animals. The filth. The contamination. You're the person who handles what nobody else will handle. You're the boundary between civilization and the things civilization doesn't want to acknowledge. Around midday, the master takes you somewhere else. The public latrine. It's a stone building. Holes in benches over a pit. The smell is indescribable. Worse than the dead animals. Worse than anything you've encountered so far. The master hands you a long pole with a scraper on the end. You understand immediately. This is also your job. Cleaning the latrines. Maintaining them. Making sure they're functional. Because who else would do it? Who else would touch this? The executioner. The person already contaminated. The person already outside normal society. You spend 2 hours scraping shit. Literal shit. Human waste. Accumulated filth. The pole is long enough that you don't have to get too close. But the smell doesn't care about distance. It's everywhere. In your nose. In your mouth. On your clothes. In your hair. You scrape and the pit never seems to get cleaner. The master works alongside you, not supervising, just working. He's done this hundreds of times. It's part of the job, part of the trade. You scrape shit so you can afford to eat, so you can have a place to sleep, so you can survive in a world that needs you but doesn't want you. When you're finished, you're filthy, covered in things you don't want to identify. The master takes you to a well. You wash. The water is cold. It doesn't really help. The smell is in your skin now, in your pores. You'll smell like this for days, maybe longer. You walk back through town. People see you, smell you. They don't just look away now, they actively avoid you. Give you wide berth. One woman spits as you pass, not at you, just spits. A gesture of disgust, of contempt, of the belief that you're unclean, untouchable. The master doesn't react. He just walks. He's used to this. He's lived with this for 30 years. The contempt, the disgust, the way people treat him like he's less than human. It's part of the job, part of the price you pay for doing work that society needs but doesn't want to acknowledge. You're starting to understand the real cost. It's not the executions. It's not the violence. It's this. The daily degradation. The constant reminder that you're outside normal society. That you're contaminated. That you're necessary but despised. That you'll never be welcome in a church. That your children won't be allowed in schools. That you'll be buried outside consecrated ground. That you're alive but socially dead. You return to the quarters. The master prepares the evening meal. You eat. The food tastes like nothing. Or maybe it tastes like the latrine. You can't tell anymore. Your sense of smell is overwhelmed. Your sense of taste is gone. You're just eating because you have to eat. After the meal, the master takes you back to the yard. More practice. Sword work this time. Your arms are exhausted. Your hands are raw. But you practice anyway. Swing after swing. The straw bundle shreds. You replace it. Keep swinging. The master watches. Corrects your form. Shows you what you're doing wrong. The practice feels different now. After spending the day handling dead animals and cleaning shit, the sword work feels almost clean. Almost dignified. At least this is the official job. The public job. The thing people know about. Not the hidden degradation. Not the filth work. Just the execution. Just the death. You practice until dark. Your arms are shaking. Your hands are bleeding again. The scabs from yesterday have reopened. The master finally calls a stop. You clean the sword. Oil it. Store it properly. The routine is automatic now. Muscle memory. You lie down that night. Your body hurts everywhere. Your hands. Your arms. Your back. Your legs. Everything. But worse than the physical pain is the knowledge. The understanding of what this job really is. It's not just killing. It's being the person who does everything nobody else will do. The person who touches death and filth and contamination. The person who exists outside normal society so that normal society can function. You're 2 days away from your first execution. But you've already been executed in a different way. Socially. Publicly. You're already dead to the town. Already untouchable. Already marked. The actual execution will just be confirmation. Just the final step in a process that's already complete. The master sleeps. You don't. You lie there thinking about dead dogs and shit and the way people looked at you. The way they'll always look at you now. The way you've become something other than human in their eyes. Something necessary, but disgusting. Something they need but don't want to acknowledge. Day 3 is over. 2 days left. And you're starting to understand that the execution might be the easiest part. Day 4 is all rope. The master wakes you at dawn. No dead animals today. No latrine work. Just rope. pure technical training. He's decided you need to understand the physics completely, need to internalize the calculations, need to be able to do this in your sleep, because in 2 days you'll need to do it while a crowd watches and a person dies. You start with the mathematics. The master has a slate, chalk. He draws diagrams, shows you the relationship between body weight and drop distance. It's a formula, an actual mathematical formula, developed over decades, over hundreds of executions, over trial and error, and bodies that died wrong and lessons learned the hard way. The formula is simple. Drop distance equals 1,260 divided by body weight in pounds. That gives you the drop in feet. The master shows you how to estimate weight by looking at someone, how to account for height, for build, for the way bodies vary. He shows you the margin of error. Too short and they strangle. Too long and they decapitate. The sweet spot is narrow, precise, unforgiving. You practice the calculations. The master gives you hypothetical weights. You calculate the drop. He checks your work, corrects you. You calculate again, over and over, until the formula is automatic, until you can look at a number and know the answer immediately. Then you practice with the actual rope. Back to the yard, the beam between the posts. The master has weights marked with their measurements. 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 150 pounds, 200 pounds. You calculate the drop for each weight, set up the rope, test it. The 50-pound weight drops. The rope catches it, stops it. The master checks the result, measures the distance, nods. Correct. You do it again with the 100-pound weight. Calculate, set up, drop, check, correct. You do this for hours. Different weights, different calculations, different rope lengths. Your hands are raw from handling the rope. Your mind is numb from the repetition. But you're learning. The calculations are becoming automatic. The setup is becoming routine. You're developing the muscle memory, the technical precision. Around midday, the master adds a complication. He shows you what happens when things go wrong, when the calculation is off, when the rope is too long. He drops a weight with too much slack. The weight falls. The rope catches, but the force is too much. The rope snaps. The weight hits the ground. That's a decapitation. The master explains this calmly, clinically. If the drop is too long, the force can be enough to sever the head. It's happened. It happens. It's one of the ways executions go wrong. One of the nightmares that executioners live with. The crowd sees it. The family sees it. Everyone sees it. And it's your fault. Your miscalculation. Your failure. He shows you the opposite problem. Too short a drop. He sets up a weight with minimal slack. Drops it. The rope catches, but the weight doesn't stop moving. It swings. Struggles. Takes time to stop. That's strangulation. Slow death. The person doesn't die from the broken neck. They die from lack of air. It takes minutes, long minutes, while they struggle, while the crowd watches, while you stand there knowing you failed. The master makes you practice both scenarios, makes you see what happens when the calculation is wrong, makes you understand the consequences. This isn't abstract. This isn't theoretical. In 2 days, you'll be responsible for getting this right, for making sure the death is as quick and clean as possible, for making sure you don't create a spectacle of suffering. The pressure is building. You can feel it. The weight of responsibility. The knowledge that you're going to do this. That you're going to be responsible for ending a life. That if you fail, if you miscalculate, if you make a mistake, the consequences are horrific. Not just for the condemned, for everyone watching. For you. For your reputation. For your ability to continue doing this work. The master doesn't offer reassurance. He just continues the lesson. Shows you how to double-check your work. How to test the rope before the execution. How to have backup plans. How to be as certain as possible that everything will work correctly. But he doesn't pretend there's certainty. There isn't. Bodies vary. Ropes vary. Conditions vary. You do your best and hope it's enough. The afternoon continues. More practice. More calculations. More drops. Your hands are bleeding. Your mind is exhausted. But you keep going. Because in 2 days, you won't have the luxury of practice. You'll have one chance. One drop. One moment to get it right. The master finally calls a stop. You return to the quarters. Clean up. Prepare the evening meal. Eat. The routine is familiar now. Comforting in its predictability. After the meal, the master does something unexpected. He retrieves a bottle, pours 2 cups, hands you one. Alcohol. Strong alcohol. You drink. It burns. The master drinks. You sit in silence. The alcohol helps. Slightly. Takes the edge off the anxiety, the fear, the knowledge of what's coming. The master still doesn't speak, he just sits, drinks, exists in the space. After a while he stands, goes to bed. You're left alone with your cup, with your thoughts, with the knowledge that tomorrow is the last day of practice, that the day after tomorrow is real. You finish the alcohol. Lie down on your mat. The room spins slightly. The alcohol, the exhaustion, the accumulated stress of 4 days of learning to kill. You close your eyes. Sleep comes easier tonight. The alcohol helps. But the dreams are worse. Dreams of ropes and weights and calculations that don't work. Dreams of bodies falling wrong. Dreams of crowds watching you fail. You wake up several times. Each time you're disoriented, confused. Then you remember where you are, what you're doing, what's coming. Each time it takes longer to fall back asleep. Each time the anxiety builds. By morning you're exhausted, more exhausted than when you went to bed. The master is already up, already moving, already preparing for day 5, the second to last day, the day before the execution. Day 4 is over. 1 day of practice left. Then it's real. Day 5 starts with a walk. The master wakes you early, hands you bread. You eat quickly. He's already dressed, already moving with purpose. He gestures for you to follow. You do. No explanation. Just following. You walk through town. It's early. The streets are quiet. The master leads you to a building you haven't been to before. Stone. Heavy door. Barred windows. You understand immediately. This is the prison. The gaol. Where the condemned are kept. The master knocks. A guard opens the door. Recognizes the master. Nods. Steps aside. You follow the master inside. The building is dark. Cold. Smells like piss and fear and unwashed bodies. The guard leads you downstairs. Into the cellar. Into the cells. There are 3 cells. 2 are empty. 1 is occupied. The master stops in front of the occupied cell, looks inside. You look too. There's a man. Mid-30s. Thin. Dirty. Sitting on the floor with his back against the wall. He looks up when you approach. Sees the master. Sees you. His expression doesn't change. He knows who you are. What you represent. He's been waiting for this. The master doesn't speak to him. Just looks. Assessing. Calculating. Estimating weight. Height. Build. Doing the mathematics in his head. Planning the execution. Making sure he knows exactly what he's working with. You look at the man. Really look at him. This is the person you're going to kill. Not a straw bundle. Not a weight on a rope. A person. With a face. With eyes. With a history. He killed someone. That's why he's here. That's why he's going to die. But right now, in this moment, he's just a man. Scared. Tired. Waiting. He looks back at you. Direct eye contact. He's not looking at the master. He's looking at you, the apprentice. The new one. Maybe he's curious. Maybe he's trying to see if you're capable. Maybe he's just looking because there's nothing else to do. His eyes are empty. Resigned. He's accepted what's coming. He's been sitting in this cell for weeks, maybe months, knowing this day would arrive. The master turns away, starts walking back toward the stairs. You follow. The condemned man watches you leave. Doesn't say anything. Doesn't need to. The message is clear. Tomorrow. Tomorrow you'll see him again. Tomorrow he'll be on the scaffold. Tomorrow you'll be the one ending his life. You climb the stairs. Back to the ground floor. Back outside. The morning air feels different now. Colder. Heavier. You've seen him. You've looked at the person you're going to kill. He's real now. Not abstract. Not theoretical. Real. The master walks back toward the quarters. You follow. Your mind is racing. Thinking about the man. About his eyes. About the way he looked at you. About the fact that tomorrow he'll be dead and you'll be the reason. You're trying to process this. Trying to make it make sense. Trying to find a way to think about it that doesn't make you want to run. You can't find one. Back at the quarters, the master goes to the yard. More practice. Sword work today. He hands you the execution sword. The one you'll use tomorrow. You take it. The weight is familiar now. You've been practicing with it for days. But it feels different now. Heavier. More significant. Tomorrow this blade will cut through a human neck. Tomorrow it will end a life. You practice. Swing after swing. The straw bundle shreds. You replace it. Keep swinging. The master watches. Corrects your form. Makes small adjustments. Everything has to be perfect. Tomorrow, there's no room for error. No second chances. One swing. One cut. One moment. Your arms are shaking. Not from exhaustion. From adrenaline. From fear. From the knowledge of what's coming. The master sees it. Doesn't comment. Just continues the lesson. Shows you how to control the fear. How to channel it. How to use it to focus rather than letting it paralyze you. You practice for hours. The sun moves across the sky. Your arms go numb. Your hands bleed. The sword becomes an extension of your body. The motion becomes automatic. Muscle memory, repetition, practice. The master finally calls a stop. You clean the sword, oil it, sharpen it, make sure it's perfect. Tomorrow it needs to be perfect. The master watches, checks your work, nods, satisfied. The sword is ready, the rope is ready, the calculations are done, everything is prepared. Except you. You're not ready. You'll never be ready. But ready or not, tomorrow is coming. Tomorrow the condemned man will be brought to the scaffold. Tomorrow the crowd will gather. Tomorrow you'll assist in ending his life. Tomorrow you'll cross a line that can't be uncrossed. The master prepares the evening meal. You eat. The food tastes like nothing. Your stomach is tight, anxious. You force yourself to eat anyway. You'll need the energy tomorrow, need the strength, need to be physically capable, even if you're not mentally prepared. After the meal, the master sits, looks at you, really looks at you. For the first time since you arrived, he seems to see you as a person rather than an apprentice. He doesn't offer comfort, doesn't offer reassurance, just looks, acknowledging what you're going through, acknowledging that tomorrow will change you, that you'll be different after, that there's no going back. Then he goes to bed. You're left alone, sitting in the dark, thinking about the condemned man, about his eyes, about the way he looked at you, about the fact that he's sitting in that cell right now, knowing tomorrow is his last day, knowing that you're the person who's going to end it. You try to sleep. Can't. Your mind won't stop. You're thinking about the execution, about what could go wrong, about the calculations, about the sword, about the crowd, about the man's face, about everything. You're running through the process over and over, trying to prepare, trying to be ready. You're not ready. You lie there for hours. The master sleeps. You don't. You're staring at the ceiling, at the darkness, at nothing. Time passes slowly, agonizingly slowly. Each hour feels like days. Each minute feels like hours. Eventually, exhaustion wins. You fall asleep. Not restful sleep. Fitful. Broken. Full of dreams that are more like nightmares. Dreams of the execution going wrong. Dreams of the man's eyes. Dreams of the crowd. Dreams of failure. You wake up multiple times. Each time, you're disoriented. Each time, you remember. Each time, the anxiety builds. Morning comes too soon, and too slowly. You're exhausted. Haven't really slept. Your body is tired, but your mind is wired. Anxious. Afraid. The master is already up. Already preparing. Today is the day. Today is the execution. Day 5 is over. The practice is done. Tomorrow is real. Day 6 is the longest day of your life. The execution is scheduled for midday. That means you have hours. Hours to wait. Hours to think. Hours to let the anxiety build. The master wakes you at dawn. You haven't really slept. You've been lying on your mat, staring at nothing, thinking about everything. The master prepares breakfast. You can't eat. Your stomach is clenched. Tight. The thought of food makes you nauseous. The master doesn't force it. Just eats his own portion. Methodically. Calmly. Like this is any other day. For him, maybe it is. For you, it's the day everything changes. After breakfast, the master goes to the yard. You follow. He retrieves the execution sword, hands it to you. You take it. The weight is familiar. You've held this sword hundreds of times over the past week. But today it feels different. Today it's not practice. Today it's real. The master watches you, doesn't speak, just watches. You stand there holding the sword. Your hands are shaking. Slightly. You try to control it. Can't. The master sees it, doesn't comment, just continues watching. You practice. Not because you need to. You've practiced enough. But because you need to do something. Need to move. Need to occupy your mind. You swing at the straw bundle. The motion is automatic. Muscle memory. The blade cuts clean. Perfect form. Perfect execution. The master nods. You practice for an hour, maybe more. The master finally stops you. Takes the sword. You're sweating. Your arms are shaking. Not from exertion. From adrenaline. From fear. From the knowledge that in a few hours you'll use this sword on a person. The master cleans the sword, sharpens it one final time, oils it, wraps it in cloth, sets it aside. Then he retrieves the rope, shows you one more time how to tie the noose, how to check the knot, how to ensure everything is secure. You watch. You've done this 100 times. But you watch anyway, because watching is better than thinking. Time passes, slowly, agonizingly slowly. The sun moves across the sky. The master sits, waits. Calm, patient. You can't sit. You pace. Back and forth across the yard. Your mind is racing, running through the process. The calculations. The steps. The motion. Everything. Over and over. The master doesn't tell you to stop. He just lets you pace, lets you process, lets you deal with the anxiety in whatever way you can. He's been through this. He knows what you're feeling. He knows there's nothing he can say that will help. So he says nothing, just waits. Around mid-morning, you hear bells, church bells, ringing. The signal. The execution is approaching. The town is being notified. People will start gathering, moving toward the scaffold. The crowd will assemble, witnesses, spectators, people who want to see justice done, people who want to see death. The master stands, retrieves the sword, the rope, hands you the rope. You take it. Your hands are shaking badly now. The master sees it, puts a hand on your shoulder. Brief, firm, not comfort, just acknowledgement. Then he removes his hand, starts walking toward town. You follow. The walk feels surreal, like you're moving through a dream. The streets are busier now. People are heading toward the scaffold. They see you, see the master, see what you're carrying. They know what's about to happen. Some look curious. Some look excited. Some look away. Nobody speaks to you. You reach the scaffold. It's a raised platform in the town square. Wooden, sturdy, built for this purpose. There's already a crowd gathering. 50 people, maybe more. They're talking, murmuring, waiting. The master climbs the scaffold. You follow. Your legs feel weak, unsteady. You're standing above the crowd now. Visible, exposed. The master sets up. He positions the block, the wooden block where the condemned will kneel, where he'll place his head, where you'll swing the sword. The master checks the height, the angle. Make sure everything is correct. Then he steps back, waits. You stand there, holding the rope. Your hands are shaking so badly you can barely hold it. The crowd is growing. More people arriving. 100 now, maybe more. They're watching you, watching the master, waiting for the show. Because that's what this is to them. A show. Entertainment. Justice as spectacle. You hear footsteps. Heavy footsteps. Multiple people. You look toward the sound. The guards are coming. They're bringing the condemned. You see him. The man from the cell. He's walking between two guards. His hands are bound. His face is pale. Resigned. He's accepted this. He's walking to his death, and he knows it. The crowd parts. Lets them through. The guards lead the condemned to the scaffold, up the steps, onto the platform. He's standing 10 feet from you now, close enough that you can see his face clearly, see his eyes. They're empty. Hollow. He's already gone in some way, already dead inside. A priest is speaking, saying words, prayers, last rites. The condemned man listens, or pretends to listen. His lips move slightly. Maybe he's praying too. Maybe he's just going through the motions. The priest finishes, steps back. The guards position the condemned at the block. The master gestures to you. It's time. Time to do your part. You step forward. The condemned man is kneeling now. His head is on the block. His neck is exposed. The master is holding the sword, waiting. You're supposed to secure him. Make sure he doesn't move. Make sure the execution is clean. You kneel beside him. Your hands are shaking. You can barely control them. You're supposed to hold his shoulders. Keep him steady. You place your hands on him. He's warm, alive, breathing. You can feel his breath. Fast, shallow, terrified despite the resignation in his eyes. The master raises the sword. You're holding the condemned man, feeling him breathe, feeling him alive. The master's stance is perfect. His grip is correct. The angle is right. Everything is ready. The crowd is silent, waiting, watching. The sword falls. Fast. Clean. Perfect. The blade cuts through the neck, through bone, through everything. The head separates, falls. The body slumps. Blood. So much blood. More than you expected. It's everywhere. On the block. On the platform. On you. On your hands. On your clothes. The crowd reacts. Some cheer. Some gasp. Some look away. The execution is done. Justice is served. The condemned is dead. The master steps back, lowers the sword. His expression is unchanged. Calm. Professional. He's done this hundreds of times. You're still kneeling, still holding the body, or what's left of it. Your hands are covered in blood. Your mind is blank, shocked. You just helped kill someone. You just held them while they died. You just felt the moment of death. The transition from alive to dead, from person to corpse. The master touches your shoulder, gestures for you to stand. You do. Mechanically, your legs are shaking. Your whole body is shaking. The guards are removing the body. The head. Taking them away. The crowd is dispersing. The show is over. They're returning to their lives. Their normal lives. Where they don't kill people. where they don't hold dying men, where they don't have blood on their hands. You climb down from the scaffold. The master is cleaning the sword, methodical, thorough. Like always, you're just standing there, staring at your hands, at the blood, at the evidence of what you just did, what you just participated in, what you just became. The master finishes cleaning, wraps the sword, starts walking back toward the quarters. You follow. Automatic. Your mind is somewhere else, replaying the moment. The sword falling, the cut, the blood, the way the body slumped, the way it felt to hold someone as they died. People see you walking, see the blood on your clothes, on your hands. They know what you just did. They look at you differently now, not just with disgust, with fear, with the knowledge that you're capable of this, that you've crossed the line, that you're an executioner now, not an apprentice, an executioner. You reach the quarters. The master shows you where to wash. You strip off your clothes. They're soaked with blood, ruined. You'll burn them later. You wash. The water turns red. You scrub. The blood comes off your skin. Mostly. Some of it stays. Under your nails. In the creases of your hands. You scrub harder. It doesn't matter. The blood is part of you now. Permanent. Invisible, but permanent. The master prepares a meal. You can't eat. Can't even think about eating. Your stomach is churning. Your mind is replaying the execution, over and over. The sword. The cut. The blood. The way the man's body felt. The way he stopped breathing. The moment of death. The master eats. Calmly. Like nothing happened. Like this is just another day. He's done this so many times it doesn't affect him anymore. Or maybe it does, and he's just learned to live with it. Either way, he eats. You sit, stare at nothing, exist in shock. Evening comes. The master goes to bed. You lie down on your mat. Close your eyes. See the execution. Open your eyes. See the blood on your hands. Close your eyes. See the man's face. Open your eyes. See the scaffold. You can't escape it. Can't stop seeing it. Can't stop feeling it. You don't sleep. You lie there all night, replaying the execution, thinking about the man, about his life, about the fact that he's dead now, and you helped make that happen, about the fact that you're an executioner now, that this is your life, that you'll do this again, and again, and again. The night is endless, the longest night of your life, longer than the day, longer than the execution, just lying there, thinking, feeling, trying to process something that can't be processed, trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. Morning comes eventually. The master wakes, starts his routine. You're still lying on your mat, staring at the ceiling. He looks at you, doesn't speak, just looks. Then he continues his routine, prepares breakfast, maintains the tools, exists in the space. You eventually stand, move mechanically, eat something, barely taste it. The master watches, still doesn't speak. There's nothing to say. You've crossed the line. You're an executioner now. The apprenticeship is over. You're one of them. One of the people who kill for the state. One of the people society needs but doesn't want to acknowledge. Day 6 is over. Day 7 has begun. But day 7 is just the rest of your life. The same routine, the same work, the same isolation, the same contamination, the same knowledge that you're necessary and despised, that you're essential and untouchable, that you're alive but socially dead. The master goes about his day, you follow, because there's nothing else to do, nowhere else to go. This is your life now. This is what you are. An executioner. A person who kills. A person who exists outside normal society. A person who will never be welcome in a church. Whose children will never attend school. Who will be buried outside consecrated ground. You're learning the final lesson. The execution was just the beginning. The real horror isn't the killing. It's the living. It's waking up every day knowing what you are, knowing what you've done, knowing what you'll do again. It's walking through town and seeing people recoil. It's being necessary and hated. It's being essential and contaminated. It's being the person who does what nobody else will do. The person who touches death so others don't have to. The person who maintains the boundary between civilization and chaos. The person who makes justice possible while being excluded from justice. The person who serves society while being rejected by society. The master has lived this for 30 years. You're just beginning. You have decades ahead of you. Decades of executions. Decades of isolation. Decades of being necessary and despised. Decades of being the person everyone needs and nobody wants. The apprenticeship is over. The life has begun. And there's no going back. The days after blur together. Not because they're eventful. Because they're not. They're routine. Maintenance. Practice. Waiting for the next execution. The master continues teaching. Not the basics anymore. The refinements. The variations. Different methods. Different tools. Different situations. You learn. You practice. You become competent. But competence doesn't help. You're still the person who killed someone. Still the person with blood on your hands. Still the person the town avoids. The master doesn't acknowledge this. He just continues the routine, maintains the tools, does the side work, removes dead animals, cleans latrines, exists in the role. You follow, because there's nothing else, no other option, no other life. You've crossed the line. You're marked. Permanently. Visibly. Even when you're not covered in blood, people know. They can tell. Something about the way you move. The way you exist. The contamination is visible even when it's not. Another execution comes. 2 weeks after the first. Different condemned. Different crime. Same process. Same scaffold. Same crowd. Same result. This time you're less shocked. More prepared. You know what to expect. You know what it feels like. You know what comes after. It doesn't help. Each execution adds weight. Adds to the accumulation. Adds to the knowledge of what you are. What you've become. The master does them without visible effect. You do them, and feel each one. Feel the weight building. Feel yourself changing. Becoming harder. More distant. More like the master. The town treats you differently now. Not just with disgust. With fear. With the knowledge that you're capable of killing. That you've done it. That you'll do it again. Children are pulled away when you pass. Women cross the street. Men avoid eye contact. You're a ghost. A necessary ghost. A ghost that maintains order by being willing to do what others won't. You start to understand the master's silence. He doesn't speak because there's nothing to say. The work speaks for itself. The isolation speaks for itself. The contamination speaks for itself. Words don't help. Don't change anything. Don't make it easier. So he's silent. And you're becoming silent too. The routine continues. Maintenance. Practice. Side work. Executions. The rhythm of a life lived outside normal society. The rhythm of being necessary and despised. The rhythm of serving justice while being excluded from justice. The rhythm of being alive but socially dead. You're learning to live with it, not accept it. You'll never accept it. But live with it. Function within it. Exist in the space between necessary and contaminated. Between essential and untouchable. Between human and something else. The master watches you change. Sees you becoming what he is. What all executioners become. Harder. More distant. More isolated. He doesn't comment, doesn't offer wisdom, just watches. Acknowledges. Continues the routine. Months pass. More executions. More practice. More side work. More isolation. You're competent now. Skilled. The master trusts you to work independently. To handle tasks alone. To be the executioner when he's not available. You've become what you were apprenticed to become. An executioner. A person who kills for the state. A person who maintains order through violence. A person who exists outside normal society so that normal society can function. A person who is necessary and despised. Essential and contaminated. Alive but socially dead. The master is getting older. You can see it. The way he moves. The way he tires more easily. The way he relies on you more. Eventually, he'll retire. Or die. And you'll take over. You'll become the master executioner. You'll train your own apprentice. You'll pass on the knowledge. The skills. The contamination. The cycle continues. Generation after generation. Executioners training executioners. Necessary people doing necessary work. Contaminated people maintaining the boundary between civilization and chaos. People who serve society while being rejected by society. People who make justice possible while being excluded from justice. You're part of that cycle now. Part of the tradition. Part of the system. Part of the machinery that keeps society functioning. You're the person who does what nobody else will do. The person who touches death so others don't have to. The person who maintains order through violence. The person who is essential and untouchable. The person who is necessary and despised. The person who is alive but socially dead. The person who is an executioner. And that's what you'll be for the rest of your life. The thing about being an executioner is that it never becomes normal. You'd think it would. You'd think after enough executions, enough practice, enough routine, it would just become another job, another task, another thing you do. The master makes it look that way. Calm, professional, detached, like it's just carpentry or blacksmithing or any other trade. It's not. Each execution carries weight. Each one adds to the accumulation. Each one reminds you of what you are, what you've become, what you'll always be. The master feels it too. You can tell now. in the quiet moments, in the way he sits alone, in the way he maintains the tools with more care than necessary, in the way he exists in the space. He's carried this weight for 30 years. You're just beginning. You have decades ahead. Decades of executions. Decades of wait. Decades of being the person who kills. The person who is necessary and despised. The person who serves society while being rejected by society. The town has accepted you in its way, not welcomed you, never welcomed you, but accepted that you exist, that you're necessary, that you're part of the system. They avoid you, they fear you, they need you, all at once. You're the person they call when justice requires death, the person they ignore the rest of the time. You've learned to live in that space, the space between necessary and contaminated, between essential and untouchable, between human and something else. You've learned to exist without connection, without community, without the things that make life bearable for normal people. You have the master. That's your community, your connection. The only person who understands what this life is, what it costs, what it takes. He doesn't speak much, neither do you anymore. But the silence is shared. The understanding is there. You're both executioners, both contaminated, both necessary, both despised, both alive but socially dead. The work continues. Maintenance, practice, side work, executions. The rhythm never changes. The routine never varies. You wake up. You maintain the tools. You wait for the next death warrant. You prepare. You execute. You clean up. You exist in the space. This is your life. Not the life you imagined. Not the life you wanted. But the life you have. The life you'll have until you're too old to continue. Until your hands shake too much to hold the sword. Until your body can't handle the work. Then you'll retire. Or die. And someone else will take your place. Another apprentice. Another person with no options. Another person who will learn the trade. Learn the isolation. Learn the contamination. Learn what it means to be necessary and despised. The cycle continues. Always has. Always will. Society needs executioners. Needs people willing to do the work. Willing to carry the contamination. Willing to exist outside normal life so that normal life can function. Willing to be the boundary between civilization and chaos. You're that person now. You've become what you were apprenticed to become. An executioner. A person who kills for the state. A person who maintains order through violence. A person who is essential and untouchable. A person who is necessary and despised. A person who is alive but socially dead. And that's what you'll be for the rest of your life. Until you're too old. Until you die. Until someone else takes your place. The work continues. The contamination continues. The isolation continues. The necessity continues. The cycle continues. Always. Forever. Because society needs executioners. And you're an executioner now. That's what you are. That's what you'll always be. Welcome to the trade.